A health system is made up of two pieces, the data to represent it and the UI to show it. For the data, we need a current and a max health. Dividing the current by the max gives us a value between 0 and 1, where 0 means we have no health and 1 means full health. Using this value as a percentage, we can hide part of an image to give the effect of a health bar emptying and filling. For the UI, the health bar is a root game object with 3 images on a canvas, with each one being a child of the last. First is the largest image, the border, and next are 2 slightly smaller images representing the empty and filled sections. Since we don't want to click on the health bars, I'll uncheck Raycast Target on each object. And to prevent the health bars from being hidden behind objects in the world, I've set the render mode on the canvas to screen space overlay. To show only part of an image, we need to set the image type on our fill image to filled, which is only available if a sprite is set in the source image field. We'll also need an image that will look the same when stretched, which we can create in Paint by setting the canvas size to something like 32 by 32 and saving the white square. After changing the texture type to sprite, we can use the square in our fill image. Now we can set the image type to filled to only show part of the image. Setting the fill method to horizontal and fill origin to left will make the bar fill from left to right, and we can choose how much of the image to show by changing the fill amount. Note that this value is also between 0 and 1, making for an easy visualization with our health percentage. We'll change the fill amount in code by creating a health bar script with a reference to the fill image and adding it to our health bar game object. Let's add a refresh function that accepts a current and max health value, divides them to calculate the 0 to 1 percentage, and uses that value to set the fill amount. To call the refresh function, let's create a health script that references the health bar and defines our current and max health variables. Inside update, we call the health bar's refresh function to update the fill amount by passing in our current and max health variables. And don't forget to add the health script to the player and connect the health bar reference. Now that we've created the UI and defined our health values, we need a way to change the current health. Inside the health script, let's create a giveHealth function that keeps the current health between 0 and the max health. We'll also make current health private to make it clear that it should only be changed inside our function. We might still want to access it though, so I'll use a property with a private set, and we'll also set current health to max health inside awake so that we still start with full health. To call our giveHealth function, we'll use a game manager script and game object with a reference to the health script. Inside update, we'll add health when the number 1 gets pressed and take health when the number 2 gets pressed. Now that we have a functioning health bar, the next step is to keep it positioned correctly on the screen as our player moves around. We'll need access to the camera for this, so let's give our health script a reference to it. Inside update, we use the camera to convert our position in the world into a screen position and move our health bar to it. Again, don't forget to add the references in the editor. Our health bar now follows the player, but we still need to position it vertically. We'll do this by adding an offset to our health script and applying it when we position the health bar. After choosing an offset we like in play mode, the health bar now stays positioned correctly as the player moves around. Just remember to set the offset again after exiting play mode, as it'll get wiped back to its original value. Our health bar is now working, but nothing happens when the player runs out of health. Inside the health script's giveHealth function, let's add a check to see if the new health is less than or equal to 0. If it is, we'll destroy the game object and end the function. By adding an onDestroy function that automatically gets called when our game object is destroyed, we can make sure the health bar also gets destroyed since it's not directly attached to our player. With a quick test, our player now gets destroyed when it runs out of health. All our work so far has been possible because everything we need is already in the scene. So how would we add health bars for objects we create while the game is running? Simply put, our game manager is going to need to connect everything. There's a few steps involved here, starting with turning our player and health bar into prefabs and deleting the originals from the scene. We'll add references to the new prefabs, as well as the health bar canvas, to the game manager. And after adding a reference to the health script on the player, we'll change the game manager to work with a player instead of directly with a health script. Now that we have all the references we need, we can spawn our player and give them a health bar. Inside the game manager's awake function, we instantiate the player as well as a health bar with the health bar canvas as its parent. We then get the health script on our player to reference the newly created health bar. And finally, since the camera is no longer in the scene, we'll need to move the camera reference to the game manager so it can set it for the health script. As always, don't forget to set the references in the editor. And with that, our health system is complete. Now, although everything here is functional, there are definitely some improvements that could be made. My goal was to make it as simple as possible for a beginner to let people quickly get their own health bars working. So if you'd like to see another video looking at how we can improve on what's here, as well as adding more features to our health bars, let me know in the comments.